Welcome to Miss Scarlett. Subscribe and don't miss out on Patreon. Have fun! The sweaty grip loosened its hold, fingers slipping as the last words of the phone call resonated in the empty room. A heavy sigh filled the silence. A lone figure, solitary in their misery. Standing alone in the kitchen, blonde hair mussed with agitation, the figure muttered, "What was I thinking?" A guilty glance at the microwave revealed an ominous countdown. Only a day until the fate sealed by a promise. A slender reflection stared back at Gabriel from the window, a wry smile forming at the irony of his predicament. His athletic frame, honed by years of running, mocked him. He was about to embark on a sport he hadn't played since his high school days. "You're their only hope," echoed the plaintive voice of his sister, Melissa, in his mind. A desperate plea for the children's cancer charity tournament, one he couldn't refuse. The club needs exactly 16 players for the bracket to work. Everyone's already sold tickets. I've told them my cousin Hallie is stepping in. Cousin Hallie? Gabriel had repeated incredulously. Well, I couldn't exactly tell them my brother was going to wear a skirt and play, could I? The package containing Melissa's tennis outfit arrived by courier an hour later. Gabriel dumped the contents onto his bed. A crisp white pleated tennis skirt, a pink polo shirt with the Westside Tennis Club logo embroidered on the chest, and a matching pink visor. A pair of women's athletic shoes completed the ensemble, along with compression shorts to wear under the skirt. "This is insane," Gabriel murmured, holding the skirt against his waist. "Absolutely insane." Sleep came fitfully that night, dreams filled with laughing crowds pointing as he tripped over his own feet on the court. Morning arrived with cruel efficiency, and Gabriel found himself standing in his bathroom, staring at the outfit laid out on the counter. "Just one day," he reminded himself. "One match, probably lose, then done." The skirt felt strange as it settled around his hips. The pleats fell just above his knees, and the compression shorts beneath provided necessary modesty. The pink polo was snug but not uncomfortable across his chest. Gabriel studied his reflection critically. His face was relatively soft-featured, and his blonde hair, though short, had a slight wave to it that could pass as a pixie cut. With the visor shadowing his features, he might actually pull this off. A text from Melissa dinged on his phone. "Don't forget makeup!" Gabriel groaned. He'd forgotten that part. Following a hurried YouTube tutorial and using the small kit Melissa had included, he managed to apply a basic foundation, mascara, and lip gloss. The transformation was subtle but effective. His features seemed softer, more feminine.
"Hello, Hallie,"
he whispered to his reflection, testing the name on his lips. The drive to Westside Tennis Club took 20 minutes, each passing mile increasing the knot in Gabriel's stomach. Parking his car in the far corner of the lot, he took several deep breaths before stepping out, adjusting the pink visor lower over his eyes. Walking toward the clubhouse required a conscious effort to modify his gait. Smaller steps, slight sway to the hips. All tips Melissa had texted him throughout the previous evening. The tennis skirt swished around his thighs with each step, a constant reminder of the charade. "You must be Hallie!" A woman with a clipboard approached as Gabriel entered the clubhouse. Her red hair was pulled back in a tight ponytail, and her white tennis dress looked professionally pressed. "Melissa's cousin, right? I'm Diana, club secretary. We're so glad you could fill in." Gabriel cleared his throat and pitched his voice higher. "Yes, that's me. Happy to help." "Great outfit choice. Diana said, gesturing to Gabriel's ensemble. Melissa mentioned you've played before? Just recreationally, Gabriel managed, hoping the makeup concealed his nervous flush. Diana led him to the court assignments posted on a large board. You're in Group C, Court 4. First match starts in 30 minutes. Warm-up area is through those doors. The women's locker room loomed ahead, and Gabriel froze momentarily before Diana pointed to a separate door. Family changing room is over there if you need it. Some of our members prefer the privacy. Relief washed over him as he nodded thanks and ducked into the private changing area to collect himself. The warm-up area bustled with women stretching, practicing swings, and chatting animatedly. Gabriel found a quiet corner to awkwardly mimic the stretches he remembered from high school, keeping his visor low and interactions minimal. First time at Westside. Gabriel turned to find a tall woman with auburn hair extending her hand. Her grip was firm as they shook. Yes, I'm Hal. His voice cracked, and he quickly cleared his throat. Hallie, filling in for my cousin Melissa. Melissa Fuller? Oh, she's one of our best. I'm Vanessa Jenkins. We might be playing each other today, depending on how the brackets go. The conversation mercifully shifted to tennis basics, with Vanessa offering tips when she realized Hallie was relatively inexperienced. Her kindness helped calm Gabriel's nerves as they moved toward the courts for the opening ceremony. The club president gave a brief speech about the charity and its importance, followed by an explanation of the tournament rules. Each player would compete in at least 2 matches, with winners advancing through the bracket. Gabriel half listened, focused instead on not drawing attention to himself. Court 4, Hallie Fuller versus Bethany Winters, called the announcer. Gabriel's heart hammered as he made his way to the assigned court. His opponent was already waiting, a fit woman in her 40s, wearing a navy tennis dress, bouncing lightly on her toes. Good luck, Bethany said, with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Shall we warm up for 5 minutes? The racket felt awkward in Gabriel's hand as they began hitting the ball back and forth. His first few returns went wild, eliciting sympathetic glances from spectators gathered around the court. But as minutes passed, muscle memory from high school physical education began to return. The weight of the racket became familiar, and Gabriel found himself anticipating Bethany's hits with increasing accuracy. When the actual match began, something unexpected happened. The pressure to perform disappeared beneath the simple joy of playing. The skirt and outfit faded from Gabriel's consciousness as he focused entirely on the game. His natural athleticism compensated for his lack of technique, and, to his astonishment, he won the first set 6-4. Bethany's expression shifted from confidence to determination as they changed sides. You're full of surprises, Hallie, she remarked, a new respect in her voice. The second set proved more challenging as Bethany adjusted her strategy, targeting Gabriel's backhand, his weaker side. They traded games back and forth until reaching a tiebreaker, which Gabriel won by a narrow margin. Game, set, match! Fuller! Announced the volunteer scorekeeper. Scattered applause broke out as they approached the net to shake hands. Bethany's earlier competitiveness had mellowed into genuine sportsmanship. Well played, she said. Are you sure you're just a recreational player? Gabriel smiled, still catching his breath. Beginner's luck, I guess. You have natural talent. You should consider joining the club regularly. The suggestion caught Gabriel off guard. Join regularly? As Hallie? The thought was preposterous. Yet as he walked off the court, several women approached to congratulate him on the win, treating him not as an outsider, but as one of their own. The acceptance felt strangely validating. Between matches, Gabriel found himself engaged in conversations with other players. The initial awkwardness of speaking in a higher register faded as he relaxed into the role of Hallie. Women shared tennis strategies, complained about work stresses, and laughed at inside jokes, all while fully including him in their circle. Gabriel's second match proved even more successful than the first. His opponent, a younger woman named Rebecca, had a powerful serve but lacked consistency. Gabriel won handily, advancing to the semifinals of the charity tournament. "Hallie Fuller is our dark horse today," Diana announced to appreciative cheers. "Melissa clearly keeps talented tennis players in the family." By the semifinal match, a small crowd had gathered to watch. Gabriel faced Vanessa, the kind woman from the warm-up area. Her technique was flawless, and the match stretched into 3 grueling sets. In the end, Vanessa's experience prevailed, but Gabriel left the court with his head held high, having played far better than anyone, including himself, had expected. "That was amazing," Vanessa said, as they rested on a bench afterward, sipping water. "For someone who doesn't play regularly, you have incredible instincts. You should really consider joining our Tuesday-Thursday practice group." "I don't even have a membership," Gabriel demurred. "As Melissa's cousin, I'm sure we could arrange something." Vanessa leaned closer, lowering her voice. "Between us, we need fresh talent. Most of our regular players have been here forever, and the competition's getting stale." The charity event concluded with a small reception. Gabriel found himself surrounded by women complimenting his play, asking about his background, and encouraging him to return. For the first time all day, he felt a twinge of regret that this experience was coming to an end. As Gabriel changed back into street clothes in the family changing room, keeping the tennis outfit on underneath, Diana knocked on the door. "Hallie, do you have a moment?" She handed him an envelope containing information about club membership and the practice schedule Vanessa had mentioned.
"We'd love to have you join us. Melissa speaks so highly of you, and after seeing you play today, well, talent like yours shouldn't go to waste."
Gabriel thanked her non-committally and headed to his car, the envelope tucked into his bag alongside the tennis outfit. The afternoon sun was setting as he drove home, his mind replaying points from the matches, analyzing what he could have done better against Vanessa. His phone rang through the car speakers. Melissa. "So, how was it? Did anyone suspect anything?" Gabriel hesitated before answering. "No one suspected. I actually won 2 matches." "You're kidding! That's amazing!" Melissa's excitement radiated through the phone. "Did you have fun?" The question gave him pause. Had he enjoyed it? Beyond the initial discomfort and anxiety, beyond the strange circumstances that brought him there. Yes, he had enjoyed the competition, the camaraderie, the pure physical exertion of the sport.
"I did,"
he admitted. "They, gave me information about joining the club." Melissa's laughter filled the car. "As Hallie? That's hilarious! Can you imagine?" Gabriel smiled weakly.
"Yeah, imagine that."
That night, instead of immediately showering away the remnants of the day, Gabriel found himself examining his reflection in the bathroom mirror. The makeup was smudged, the foundation patchy after hours of exertion, but there was something in his expression. A lightness, a spark that hadn't been there before. The tennis skirt and polo lay draped over his laundry hamper. He should wash them before returning them to Melissa. His fingers traced the pleats of the skirt, remembering how it had moved with him on the court, how free it had felt compared to restrictive shorts. Gabriel slept deeply that night, dreams filled not with mockery, but with the satisfying thwack of a tennis ball perfectly hit, the squeak of athletic shoes on the court, and the warmth of belonging. 3 days later, Gabriel sat in his apartment staring at the club information package. Melissa had called twice, asking for her tennis clothes back, but he'd made excuses about laundry and work schedules. The truth was, he couldn't bring himself to part with them yet. His finger hovered over the phone number for the club. What was he thinking? That he could continue this charade? Live a double life as tennis-playing Hallie? It was absurd. And yet, the call connected after 2 rings. Westside Tennis Club. Diana speaking. Gabriel's heart raced as he raised his voice to the now familiar higher pitch. Hi, Diana. It's Hallie Fuller from the charity tournament. I've been thinking about your offer to join the practice group. 2 weeks later, Gabriel, now consistently presenting as Hallie at the club, arrived for his 3rd practice session. The women's locker room still remained off-limits in his mind, so he continued using the family changing room, explaining to curious teammates that he preferred the privacy. He had purchased his own tennis clothes, 2 more pleated skirts in white and navy, several feminine athletic tops, and proper women's tennis shoes. Today he wore the white skirt with a light blue top, his blonde hair now styled in a more deliberately feminine cut after a strategic visit to a salon. Hallie! Vanessa waved from the court. We're working on serves today. Partner up with Michelle. The practice sessions had quickly become the highlight of Gabriel's week. For those few hours, he could step fully into being Hallie, focusing entirely on improving his game without the complications of his everyday life. Michelle greeted him warmly. Love the new haircut. Makes your eyes pop. Thanks, Hallie replied, touching the slightly longer strands that now framed his face. The stylist had suggested subtle highlights to brighten his natural blonde, creating a softer, more feminine appearance. As they practiced serves, Coach Renee circled the courts offering personalized advice. She stopped behind Hallie, watching critically. Your form is improving, but you're still holding back on your follow-through. May I? She positioned herself behind Hallie, gently adjusting his arm position and stance. You've got the power. Don't be afraid to use it. The casual physical contact no longer made Gabriel tense as it had during the first sessions. The women treated him exactly as they treated each other, with respectful camaraderie and athletic professionalism. After practice, several players gathered at the club's cafe for smoothies. Hallie now joined these post-practice social sessions without hesitation, contributing to conversations about everything from professional tennis tournaments to local restaurants. So, Hallie, began Rebecca, stirring her strawberry smoothie. We're all curious. Will you be staying in town long-term? Melissa mentioned you were just visiting originally. The question caught Gabriel off guard. He hadn't prepared a detailed backstory, keeping personal details vague during previous conversations. I'm still figuring that out, he hedged. My work is flexible, so I'm considering my options. What do you do? Michelle asked. Another complication. Gabriel worked as a graphic designer, primarily from home, a fact that had made this double life possible thus far. I'm a designer, he said truthfully. Mostly digital work, so I can do it from anywhere with good internet. Perfect reason to stay, then, Vanessa chimed in. The club championship is in 3 months, and with your progress, you could seriously compete. The championship? Gabriel hadn't considered participating in a formal competition beyond practice sessions. The idea both thrilled and terrified him. How long could he realistically maintain this charade? Yet the prospect of proving himself in competitive play ignited something within him. I'll think about it, Hallie promised with a smile. As weeks passed, Gabriel's life developed a strange dichotomy. 3 days a week, he was Hallie Fuller, rising tennis talent at Westside Club, wearing increasingly feminine attire and growing more comfortable in that identity. The other 4 days, he was Gabriel, freelance graphic designer, maintaining his existing life and relationships. Melissa, recovered from her injury, was both amused and concerned by his continued tennis escapades. "Don't you think this has gone far enough?" she asked during one of their regular coffee meetings. "It was funny for the charity event, but you're creating a whole fake person." Gabriel stirred his coffee, avoiding her gaze. "It's not fake. I'm really playing tennis. I'm really improving. The only difference is the clothes and the name. And the voice and the hair and the fact that everyone there thinks you're a woman," Melissa countered. "What happens when someone finds out?" The question haunted Gabriel as he drove to the club the next day. In his gym bag was his newest purchase, a mint green tennis dress with white trim that the salesperson had assured him would complement his athletic build. He'd been saving it for the right moment, and today's practice match against Vanessa seemed fitting for its debut. In the private changing room, Gabriel carefully applied the makeup techniques he'd perfected over the past months, enough to soften his features without appearing overdone for athletic activity. The mint green dress slipped over his head, settling against his increasingly toned body. Regular tennis practice had refined his physique, creating subtly more feminine contours. When he emerged onto the court, several teammates whistled appreciatively. "Looking good, Hallie," called Michelle. "That color is perfect on you." Vanessa approached with an approving nod. "New dress for our match? I'm flattered and intimidated. You look ready for Wimbledon." The practice match drew a small audience of club members. Hallie and Vanessa were evenly matched now, both with powerful serves and strategic court coverage. The mint green dress moved fluidly with each lunge and reach, its design perfect for both performance and presentation. They split sets, and as they battled through the decisive third, Gabriel realized something profound. He had never felt more present, more in his body, more authentic than in these moments as Hallie. The realization didn't come as a shocking epiphany, but as a quiet truth settling into place. After narrowly winning the match, Hallie accepted congratulations from teammates with genuine pleasure. Coach Renee approached with an official-looking form. "Championship registration," she explained, holding out a pen. "You're ready, Hallie. I've never seen someone progress so quickly." Gabriel stared at the form, reality crashing back. The club championship required formal registration, official ID, possibly documentation that Hallie Fuller simply didn't have. "Can I think about it?" he asked, buying time. Renee looked surprised, but nodded. "Of course, registration closes next week, but you should know you have real potential. This could be just the beginning of your competitive career." That evening, Gabriel sat in his apartment surrounded by tennis clothes, the mint green dress draped carefully over a chair. The championship form lay on his coffee table, a decision waiting to be made. His phone buzzed with a text from Vanessa. "Great match today. Hope you're registering for the championship. You belong there." You belong there. The words resonated deeply. At the tennis club, as Hallie, Gabriel had found a community and purpose that had been missing from his life. The freedom of movement, the joy of competition, the simple pleasure of being accepted without question. All of it felt right in a way he couldn't articulate. 2 days later, Gabriel sat across from Melissa at her apartment, hands wrapped around a mug of tea for stability.
"I need to tell you something,"
he began, voice unsteady.
"About the tennis club, about Hallie."
Melissa's expression shifted from curiosity to understanding as he struggled to find the right words. "This isn't just about tennis anymore, is it?" she asked gently. Gabriel shook his head, tears threatening.
"I don't know how to explain it. When I'm there, when I'm Hallie, everything feels aligned. Like I'm finally seeing clearly."
Melissa reached across the table to squeeze his hand.
"Have you considered that maybe Hallie isn't just a character you're playing?"
The question hung in the air between them. Gabriel had been circling this truth for weeks without directly confronting it.
I think Hallie might be who I'm supposed to be,"
he whispered. "But I don't know what to do with that realization. The championship is coming up, and I want to compete. But obviously, I can't register officially as Hallie when all my identification says Gabriel." Melissa considered this practical problem. "There might be a way. Let me make some calls." The following week passed in a blur of emotion and preparation. Melissa introduced Gabriel to her friend, Dr. Eleanor Wright, a therapist specializing in gender identity. The conversations were challenging, but clarifying, putting words to feelings Gabriel had suppressed for years. "Living authentically doesn't happen overnight," Dr. Wright explained during their second session. "But it sounds like you've already begun the journey as Hallie." Through Melissa's connections at the tennis club, a solution for the championship emerged. Hallie would register with a preferred name notation, using Gabriel's ID, but with an official request for proper gender recognition in all public-facing materials and announcements. The club president, after a private meeting with Melissa and Gabriel, expressed full support. "Westside prides itself on inclusivity," she affirmed. "We're honored to have you competing as your authentic self, Hallie." The day of the championship arrived with perfect early autumn weather. Gabriel, now identifying fully as Hallie even in private thoughts, stood before the mirror in her apartment. The mint green tennis dress had become her lucky outfit, worn for every important match. Her blonde hair, now grown out to chin length, framed her face softly. For the first time since this journey began, she felt no disconnect between her internal sense of self and her external presentation. The person in the mirror was simply Hallie, tennis player, competitor, woman. The championship tournament structure meant Hallie would potentially play 3 matches that day if she continued advancing. Her first opponent was Michelle, who greeted her with a competitive smile and a warm hug. "No holding back today," Michelle warned playfully. "Championship rules." "Wouldn't dream of it," Hallie replied, settling into her stance for the first serve. The match showcased how far Hallie had come, technically. Her serves registered speeds that impressed even Coach Renee, and her court coverage drew appreciative murmurs from spectators. Michelle played brilliantly, but Hallie's focused determination carried her to a decisive victory. Between matches, Vanessa found Hallie stretching in the warm-up area. "Just heard about your next opponent," she said, handing over a water bottle. "Patricia Moore, club champion 3 years running." Hallie took a long drink. "Any tips?" "She has a weak backhand, but disguises it well. And don't let her intimidate you. Psychological warfare is half her strategy." Patricia Moore proved every bit as formidable as advertised. Tall, imposing, and technically flawless, she approached the net for handshakes with a calculating gaze. "New blood," she remarked, eyeing Hallie's mint green dress. "Cute outfit." The dismissive tone might have rattled Gabriel months ago, but Hallie simply smiled. Thanks. I like the classics. She nodded toward Patricia's traditional white tennis dress. The semi-final match drew the largest crowd of the day. Club members filled the viewing areas, many openly cheering for the underdog newcomer against the reigning champion. Melissa sat in the front row, giving Hallie a thumbs up before the first serve. Patricia took the first set 6-3, her experience showing in critical moments. As they changed sides, Hallie caught her reflection in a glass door. Flushed with exertion, determination etched in every feature. This was who she was meant to be, regardless of the match outcome. The realization brought a calm focus to the second set. Hallie stopped overthinking, trusting her body's natural instincts and the skills honed through months of dedicated practice. She targeted Patricia's backhand relentlessly, breaking her serve twice to take the set 6-2. The decisive third set became a test of endurance and will. Points stretched into long rallies, neither player willing to concede. At 5-5, with fatigue setting in, Hallie found reserves of strength she didn't know she possessed. When her final forehand winner whizzed past Patricia to clinch the match 7-5, the crowd erupted. "Final match! Hallie Fuller versus Vanessa Jenkins," announced the club president an hour later. "Our two newest championship finalists." Vanessa met Hallie at the net before their match began. "Whatever happens, I'm proud to share this court with you," she said sincerely. "Your journey to get here? It's inspiring." Hallie felt tears threatening. "Thank you for everything, the welcome, the support. It's meant more than you know." Their championship match became legendary in club history, a 3-hour battle of skill, strategy, and heart. When Hallie's final serve proved unreturnable, securing her the championship by the narrowest of margins, both players collapsed in exhaustion before meeting at the net in a heartfelt embrace. The trophy presentation ceremony brought the entire club membership together. As Hallie stepped forward to accept the championship cup, the club president added an unexpected announcement. "Today, we not only celebrate new talent and exceptional play, but also courage. Hallie Fuller has granted me permission to share that this tournament marks her first official competition playing as her authentic self. Westside Tennis Club is honored to champion all our members living their truth." Applause swelled around the courts. Teammates who had become friends surrounded Hallie with hugs and congratulations. Melissa wiped away tears from the sidelines. When handed the microphone, Hallie's voice was steady and clear. 6 months ago, I reluctantly borrowed a tennis outfit to help out at a charity event. I had no idea that day would change everything. She glanced down at her mint green dress, now battle-worn from the day's competition. On these courts, playing this sport, I found more than athletic skill. I found myself. Thank you all for seeing me, supporting me, and most importantly, just letting me play tennis as Hallie. Later that evening, as the celebration continued at the clubhouse, Vanessa pulled Hallie aside. "I've been authorized to ask you something officially," she said, suddenly formal. "The club's women's team has qualifiers for the regional championship next month. We want you as our lead singles player." Hallie's eyes widened. "Regional championship? That's a big step up." "So was today," Vanessa countered. "And look what you accomplished." The mint green dress caught the light as Hallie turned to view the gathering of teammates, now friends, celebrating their shared passion for the sport. 6 months ago, Gabriel had reluctantly stepped onto these courts playing a role. Today, Hallie stepped forward, embracing her future. "Count me in," she said, extending her hand to shake on the commitment. "But I might need a new dress for regionals." Vanessa laughed. "Keep the mint green. It's your signature now. Everyone remembers the woman in the mint green dress who came from nowhere to become champion." Champion. The word settled comfortably around Hallie's shoulders, much like the tennis dress that had helped her find her way to authenticity. On Monday, she would begin the formal process of legally changing her name and gender markers. The path ahead held challenges, certainly, but looking around at her supportive community, Hallie Fuller knew she wouldn't face them alone. The championship trophy glinted in the evening light, not just a symbol of athletic achievement, but of a more profound victory, the courage to step onto the court as her true self.
Thanks for watching, my girlies! Be sure to check out Patreon for more!